Hey everyone, this is YouTube user Canncorps, as you already know, and I believe this is week 32, and my second DVD review. I know my other one was kind of shitty because I took it at like 2 in the morning after watching the movie like an hour before. It's a great movie though, Bloodletting, and Mr. Parker did a fantastic job with his review of that, but I tried to pick a movie that nobody else did. I went through all the videos, and I was very surprised to find that nobody did Takashi Miike's Audition. This is one of my favorite movies, especially in the horror genre. Takashi Miike is one of my favorite directors, and this is what started it for me. And I have a couple of his movies now, and I love his directing style, his attitude, and his uncompromising just mentality that it needs to be this way and it needs to be shocking and doesn't care what other people think. A great example of this is an Audition, but I'll get to that later. This is basically a whole build-up story. It's so much pressure, you feel like you're like being crushed until that climax, and then you get blown in the face with this amazing climax. And I'm going to start off with the basics. This is a 1999 movie. This is the uncut special edition, probably the edition most people have. Actor Ryu Ishibashi, I think his name is, plays the lead character, a husband. He's a widower of obviously his wife has passed away, and he's a talent agent for movies and television, and his friend is kind of like he's also a TV movie producer and kind of a con artist kind of guy, his friend, and he says, look, you should go out and find another woman. And he's like, I don't know. He was really attached to this woman who was his wife and he loved. And also his teenage son, who he lives with, also is encouraging him. He says, Dad, you should get out more. You should find a woman. Which I kind of thought was a little strange, seeing it was his mom encouraging him. But anyway, he seemed really depressed, so that's probably why his son and his coworker wanted him to get out. Anyway, so the conniving coworker basically says, hey, we can put on a false movie and get all these beautiful women to come, and you can basically get their story in an interview. And he thinks about it and says, okay, whatever. So this happens, and all these girls come, and they're very nice and attractive, but they're not really doing it for him. He finds this one girl, played by this lovely lady. I'm going to mispronounce this. Unfortunately for these Asian films, a lot of their names are, I cannot pronounce them. A lot of Italian films and stuff like that I can't pronounce anyway. So her name hopefully is In-hye Shina, maybe? She played in this Audition, and she also played in another one of my another really good movie called Tokyo Gore Police, which is right there. There's her with the sword in a river of blood. But anyway, she's a fantastic role in this movie. She is an extremely quiet, calm, kept little woman who just kind of walks very quietly, and it's like this little like schoolgirl kind of persona going on, and she is the farthest person you would think to do this heinous things at the end. And as I said before, this is a build-up movie. Not a lot of horror happens until like the last 15 minutes, and I'd say maybe 20 minutes. But he basically says, this is the girl, this is her, I've been thinking about her all the time, and I'm going to ask her on a date. And she's like, oh yeah, of course. So it seems like a normal story, and little does he know, this woman is nuts. She's crazy. There's one thing in particular where she's like kneeling. She's like sitting on her knees, and she's just waiting by the phone, and you see a sack next to her, and she's just waiting, and the phone rings once, and the bag rolls over, and that's it. It just cuts away, and you don't know what's happening. And I just thought, this is like a totally new type of movie for me. It's like, I was terrified of this woman, this quiet woman. And there's some other, so basically she is really obsessive over this guy, and it comes to the point where she lures him back to her house and drugs him up, and she puts on this leather smock, which probably people think about Hostel if they see a leather smock, but they should think about Miike's Audition. Not saying Hostel's a bad movie, but Audition, I think it looks better for some odd reason on a quiet, calm Chinese girl than some crazy roid dude. Anyway, puts on the leather gloves, has piano wire, starts going away at his foot, takes away his foot, and you're like in awe of what's happening. Like, you see this girl and she's like saying something very quietly, and like she's like kind of giddy and like laughing kind of, and you're like, this woman is a sadist, she's insane. The blood's squirting on her face and she's laughing, and you don't know what's going on, you're just going nuts. And she's going away at his foot, and he can't feel anything right now because he has this numb drug, and she starts taking away, I think she takes away his teeth, puts a needle in his eye. That was nuts. And while in the middle of doing this, the son walks in and is like, what? And I didn't expect that to happen. The son just walks in, and he runs upstairs, and she chases after her, and she ends up like fighting with him kind of, and he pushes her down the stairs, and she's all broken and twisted and can't get up, and she's gonna die. And the last thing, the final one of the final scenes is her like with an outstretched hand to him, and after all that torture, you think, how could someone possibly be love that person? And she still has that face of love towards this guy, like all that was for him, like her expressing love to him through torture. Some really wild stuff. There's another famous scene in this where a unknown man is very disfigured, and I'm not sure did the special effects on this movie, I should have looked that up, but this guy has like one finger, like two fingers, like the pinky and the thumb, and he doesn't have any legs, and the guy that was in the sack crawls out, and she's away somewhere, but you hear vomit, and you're thinking, what's going on there? She vomits into a bowl, brings it out to him, and this disfigured man, this thing, crawls out of the sack and eats it. What? Now I know why, geez, at the Swiss premiere of this, some lady fainted and had to get medical attention, and also the Rotterdam Film Festival had record walkouts when it was shown in 2000. That's crazy. I love Miike for doing that. He is so uncompromising, and you could see that in Audition, you could see that in Ichi the Killer, you see that even in his Western, which I just got, what's that, the Sudoku Western? That's nuts. Overall, oh, another thing, I don't know how many fans of My Chemical Romance are there, but they had, the first record's really cool. I don't like their later stuff. It's okay, it's cool, but their first stuff's really cool. But their music video for Honey, This Mirror Isn't Big Enough for the Two of Us, that's basically this movie right here. It has a lot of the eye-poking elements and stuff in it during the video. If you're into this movie, check out that video. It's just like it. I highly recommend this movie overall. Awesome, obsessive woman. Basically, there's no revenge plot to it, but just like a crazy woman. Think like Misery, but without like, yeah, it's kind of like that obsessive fan sort of thing, but just like given like an Asian like torture twist. Well, there was torture in Misery, but anyway, I highly recommend this movie. If you're going to watch Miike, I'd watch this first and then move on to his other things. Thanks very much. Have a wonderful week.